I
did
ask
the
you
month.
guys questions, you're really not very smart. Okay, so, what group is this?
The quilters.
Lions Club.
Lions Club, there you go. I'm impressed that you knew the answer to that. So I thought I'd ask
Starting off good,
Lions
Brad.
Club questions.
Oh,
Of all
I should have read
things.
the magazine.
So, what year was Lions Club International founded?
1910.
Crickets.
1910.
No.
Is that low, high?
1935.
Low. Too high. 35 is too high. 10 is too low.
25.
25 is too high.
16.
16 is too low.
Less than 23.
Too high.
18.
18 is too high.
14. 1914.
1914. Even though the gap is 16 and 18 right now.
Oh. I didn't hear 16. I just heard 18.
Spoken like a true president. 1917 it was founded. And who was the founder? Who was the founder of Lions Club?
Bob Lyon.
Bob Lyon. Good guess, but not even remotely close.
Clay knows, I know you
His
know.
name is Leo.
Oh!
Leo is not even close.
Leo Lyon? That's not
I'm
it.
hoping it's a woman, what do you think?
Nice try.
Could be.
Anybody have any ideas? Care to guess?
I'm thinking it's not a woman.
It's not a woman.
Okay.
Well, he knew, blind gal.
He knew the
Helen
blind gal.
Keller?
New Helen Keller.
Knew the
Yep.
blind gal. There you
I mean,
go.
was that
There it is.
she encouraged a fellow by the name of Daniel?
No, not you mean the one in the lion's den? Is that the one you're talking about, Dave? Again, not even close. His name was Melvin Jones. That reminds me of Earl. There's no one younger than you with the name of Earl. I bet there's nobody that we know of or younger than the name of with the Melvin. Melvin Jones. In what community was it founded?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Good guess. Not even close.
East of there or west of there?
I'm gonna guess north.
North.
North, New York.
Maybe a little west.
Oh,
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
No,
where did that come
I don't even know where Fort Wayne is. I think it would be
The northern part.
west and north of Fort Wayne.
Chicago.
Chicago, Illinois. Good job. You got to give these guys. So, so what year did Melvin's good friend Helen Keller address the Lions or address the International Convention of the Lions? And what did she say?
1920. Help me.
1920 help.
That's what she said.
1927, she said, Babe Ruth did 60 home runs. I think that's what she said.
Do you think that's what she said?
Dear.
That might have been part of the
We are not up to this.
unredacted or the redacted version of her speech, I think, perhaps. Close, 1925, and she challenged the members to dedicate themselves to serving the blind and visually impaired.
Sounds like help me.
So, it sounds like helping. Well, if you want to personalize it. So anyway, once again, they got none right, as per usual. So we're just gonna. And Principal Lund is off to a rousing start, not knowing what year.
I do too. Because I can't tell you.
Our joke people are jokeless today, but we've always got Jack, right?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I really thought I was done with this, but I'll try. Saw one the other day, so. Pete and Joe were sitting in Joe's family room one day. They were having coffee and shooting the breeze. And Joe said, "You know, Pete, I went to the doctor a couple weeks ago and he gave me some new medicine for my memory. And it really helped." Pete says, "Joe, what was the name of that medicine?" Joel thought a minute. He was kind of quiet and he says, "What's the name of that flower that usually has a long stem and sometimes yellow, sometimes pink, sometimes red?" He says, you mean Rose? Yeah, that's it. Hey Rose, what's the name of that new medicine I'm taking?
My country
Is of the sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside let freedom ring. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Asked Mayor Dunlap to do the prayer, because nobody's been more involved in this last week in the horrendous thing that happened than she was, so here we go.
I'm waiting for my dad to speak from above. Dunlop. But please pray with me. Gracious and merciful Father, we come before you with hearts that are broken and heavy. We are grieving the loss of Ashton, Riley, and Colton. Surround their families with comfort and peace. We also lift up Luke, who is recovering from severe burns. Bring healing to his body and spirit. Pray for the medical staff that is caring for young Jace Cove, asking that you give him courage and peace as he processes all he has endured. Heavenly Father, we lift up the heroes in our midst, the firefighters, law enforcement officers, doctors, and the medical professionals, along with all the first responders who answered the call that morning. Bless them for their courage, sustain them in their service, and give them peace as they carry the weight of what they have seen. As I look around this room today, I see our school officials, how grateful we are for them. From OCCS, Unity, and the MOC Floyd Valley School District, what a family. And we are so blessed and so humbled to have them in our midst and to be the leaders of the school, which is hurting, and they are hurting, along with all the staff members, all the students, and teachers, custodians, everyone that's involved. We just pray for peace for them, Lord. And we pray for our entire community. Help us to be the hands and feet of Jesus. We want to surround one another with love, compassion, and prayer. We need you, Jesus. We need your love, your compassion, and your presence in our lives. Remind us that in you, sorrow does not have the final word. Give us faith to trust your goodness and hope to cling to the promise that one day you will wipe away every tear from our eyes. Draw near to our community, O Lord. Remind us that even in the darkest valleys, as we are told in Psalm 23, you are always with us. And that in Christ, death does not have the final word. In Jesus' holy name we pray. Amen.
Well, we had two people, and David Wassner is one of them, and he sent a little note. He said that he has moved and will unfortunately not be able to attend the Lions Club meetings anymore. I think he moved to the lakes. My time spent with the Lions has been a blessing and privilege, and I want to wish you and the rest of the Lions the very best as you guys move forward. Thank you for your time, and God bless. And then we also got a note from Alan Vogel that he's not planning to be a member anymore. So, but we have two possible new members here today. So let's welcome Barry Brad and Earl Wahlstrom. And on the 12th, which is a few days from now, but Mike Mulder has a birthday. So let's sing our appreciation for that to him, all right? Here we go.
Maybe just add Earl
Last week.
was Saturday.
Yep.
We'll do a Mike Earl deal.
A micro.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mike and Earl. Happy birthday to you.
Very good, very good.
They put beauty before age. Did you see that, Mike?
Okay, one other thing, laying at your place that you're sitting is some information. Last spring it was, a long time ago, we met with Jan Hendrickson and Dale Heemstra, and Dale came to us and said, you know, we are a service organization, and maybe we should have a little more presence in the community. And like Lori said in one of her notes, you know, we used to have the pancake supper. We had a little, people knew about us. Now we don't have that anymore. So there's a little thing there about what we need to do to get this thing going as far as the baby shower. It worked in Sioux Center. You want to talk a little bit about that a minute, Dale?
Yeah.
Jan and four other ladies, or three other ladies, put that on. They had over 120 families go through. They have over 21,000 diapers donated. They had car seats, strollers that people had still in their closets. And a lot of these people that come through needed help. They needed help in some of buying some of this stuff. And so there they had a group of people that come in and volunteered and helped go ahead and do this. And what we're looking for is today, after the meeting, if you're interested in trying to help, we have to, as you can see on here, we need some people to do advertising, some people to do money, some people to try to get the distributions and where we're going to go with them, and all those things. So if you're interested in helping with this, we greatly appreciate it. As I said to the guys when we met with them, we have all these hands here, we have all these feet here, we have all these eyes here. And I go, but what do? Do we give back to the community that we're here in? And this is an opportunity to do that. So, so if you're interested, stay here after the meeting and we'll meet for a few minutes and try to see if we can organize it. This is Jan Henderson. She's the one that organized it, that's sitting next to me. And she's done stuff like this for many, many years. And so she'll head it yet, but we can just try to get hands and feet. Okay?
Very good, very
You
good.
say to give this to Jason now?
Pretty soon, yeah. We also got a little deal from the Crittenden Center which now is part of our
Daycare.
free care,
Daycare.
daycare, yeah. And they're celebrating their 130th anniversary. 130th. That's a long time ago they started that. And they're having that on November 8 in Sioux City. So we'll remind you of that again a couple other times, but November 8, so this is kind of a hold the date kind of thing, so here we go.
Doug?
Right?
Doug?
Yeah.
September 22, they're coming to talk.
Christmas Center? Oh, very good. All right, September 22, so we'll then I won't have to remind you. All right. All right, let's do school reports. So let's start out with Mike. You got I'll bring you.
I got this.
All right.
Yes. All right. I'm on. First of all, I'd just like to say thank you on behalf of MLC Floyd Valley for all your prayers, your thoughts, for our school community and for our families. Truly a special community. We've known that. And these tragedies certainly remind us of how blessed we are to be in the community that we're in and the care that we have for one another. Last week was an incredibly difficult week for our students and families. Today is no different. Today is just another reminder. So it's homecoming week at MLC Floyd Valley this week, and we thought for a long time about whether or not to continue that. And there's no greater time than this week to have homecoming and to create unity and togetherness and an opportunity for people to enjoy a parade and smile and build relationships with one another, because that's really what school is all about. incredibly blessed by the neighboring school districts and the neighboring communities and our Christian school friends here in town and their generosity and willingness to wrap their arms around us. It's mind-boggling to think about all that's happened and the way that people have responded. I feel like it's the middle of November today, to be honest, but we're really grateful to continue to walk next to these families and to support them today, tomorrow, and moving forward. And we appreciate your prayers as we continue to do that, and as you guys continue to walk with them when you interact with them and the neighboring communities around the area. So, typical school report is all about what we have going on. It's homecoming week. We're playing Storm Lake on Friday night, a football game, and our football team's 2-0. I have no idea how Coach Hegstead put together a game plan for last week, and how our kids came out and competed. We saw that as an opportunity again to bring the community together around a game. Win or lose, the community was a benefactor of that opportunity to celebrate our kids and to celebrate life and breath in our lungs. So we'll play Friday night against Storm Lake at home. 7 p.m. is that event. Tonight is a homecoming parade. It starts right out here outside the front doors, City Hall, and then heads down to Joe's TV and Appliance. Come on down. We are not throwing candy. We're handing it out today. And so we want everybody to come out, wear purple and white, and enjoy the community atmosphere that's present there. Coronation will follow in the park this evening as well. Tomorrow night, our cross-country kids go to Brunsville, so they'll run in Lamar's and compete there. Cross-country's competed well. Natalie Anderson has won. They've ran 2 races. She's won both of them against some pretty good competition, so she's started her season extremely well. And our boys have competed well with a whole bunch of new faces. So that's kind of fun to see as that program kind of just reloads a little bit there as well. Volleyball, their Dutch invite, we had to move to Lamar's and then not participate in due to the events of last Monday. So they played their first competition last Thursday at Sioux City North, and they competed well. We lost a second player to a torn ACL. We now have 2 gals with torn ACLs on that team, which is really crazy to ponder as well. But they're competing and fighting hard. They play Central Line this Thursday at home. So if you want to come out and see volleyball, they are only home 3 times the whole year, which is interesting. That's just how volleyball works now when you play all these Saturday tournaments and different tournaments around. So come out Thursday night, pack the gym, and we play Central Line. Should be a good volleyball game as well. And then on Saturday, volleyball heads to Sioux Center for the Sioux County tournament, and our cross-country teams head to Holstein to run at the Ridgeview Invitational. So, again, I really appreciate all your thoughts and prayers for our teachers and our staff, our kids, and our families. Thank you. Yep, JV and JVR are still playing tonight. Thank you. They're playing at Central Lion. I missed them. I probably missed other things as I'm standing up here thinking in my head. So, JVR JV games tonight at Central Line. JVR starts at 5 over there. Thursday night, our middle school kids play football for the first time against SBL. That's a 4 o'clock start at the elementary out there. Oh, sorry, parade starts at 7. So, thank you. Thanks.
All right, well, we don't have a lot of sports going on right now, although volleyball will have their first game on Thursday against Hall Protestants, and looking forward to that. Junior Knights football is, I'm not even sure what they're doing yet. They've had, I think, 1 game, but not sure how they're doing so far. But for other things that are happening at our school, we have our theme kickoff coming up Wednesday. Our theme this year is I Am Not My Own, based on the Heidelberg Catechism question and answer 1. What is your only comfort in life and in death? So we're looking forward to that. That should be a really good theme this year. And tonight we are having our first big silage pile. So if you guys are really looking for throwing tires, you can come to that too. I know don't want to take away from the parade or anything like that, but if you really want to do that, that's starting tonight, and so that's always a lot of fun. So those types of things, but as far as sports, it's just the volleyball game on Thursday.
Okay, at Northwestern, I wrote this stuff down because I have all the soccer information on my tip of my tongue.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, but I wrote the other things down. Both the soccer teams have winning records right now. However, they're going to be gone all week, so you can't see them play here. The men are going down to Kansas to play St. Mary, and the women travel to Dakota State. That's on Saturday. So there you have soccer. All right. The football team won a week ago, did not play this past Saturday. They go to Mount Marty this coming Saturday. As far as volleyball is concerned, if you could squeeze into that gym over there at Dork on Saturday or something else, that first match, which we lost, we were ahead 24-21. They came back and beat us 26-24. And that crowd in Dork has fabulous fans, as you know. That roof actually did lift 6 or 8 inches. It was something else. Then we won the next 2, lost that 4th one, came back and beat them 15-13 in the final set. So it was really a battle, something to watch. They played their first home match, we do, I should say, against Dakota Wesleyan Wednesday night. Then Saturday they go to Briarcliff. As far as golf is concerned, you're going to have difficulty playing golf here in Landsmere or in Sioux Center, either today or tomorrow, because the men's golf and women's golf teams, well, the women are in Sioux City, but the men are playing both at Sioux Center and here in the Siouxland Invitation. Both of them are off to good starts, but they don't keep their records. I don't know why they don't. When we played 6 schools, we beat 5 of them. I said we were 5-1. They don't do that, so I don't understand it. I think that, by that, of course, is the only thing I don't understand.
Okay, Ray, you want to?
Well, I want to echo comments. One community right now, Northwest Iowa, other schools, how they all participate. Now, on a better note, I was asked last night, one thing I love about Lions is that we get to meet and visit with so many different people, so many different backgrounds. Jason and I would have never known if it wasn't been for Lions. So that's what I like about Lions. Now, Harold Hoptizer asked me to speak today, and he said, Jason has always been a very loud person. But for some reason today, he didn't want to speak too much. So he asked someone to speak for him. So, Jason.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, looking forward to sharing, and this was a last minute thing, so bear with us because we haven't practiced or anything like this, but we're going to talk about a wonderful trip we were able to. This is my sister, by the way, my older sister, by the way. Gotta throw that in. But we had a wonderful opportunity to go to Africa, to Guinea, Africa, last Thanksgiving with other Christian school educators and work with their Christian school teachers that they are trying to grow over there in Africa. As you know, so many of those countries are Muslim countries, and education is really difficult, not in great condition. So education is one way that we can bring our Christian message over to Africa, because most of them, even though they're Muslims, they don't care as long as they can get a good education. Well, hey, we'll teach you how to be a Christian school, and be a good school, and be a Christian school. And they say, sure, come on in. We'd love to hear about that. So that gives us an opportunity. So my sister, being the head of Heartland Christian Schools, was able to put together a trip for us with Sostin Malatongu. He and his wife and family lived in our community about 3 years ago for a year on sabbatical. And he works over there in Western Africa with this type of thing, with Christian schools and Christian teachers and things like that. So that's what started the trip, and we had a small group, so we're going to show some pictures and talk a little bit about what we did. So, start here.
Someone want to get the first slide? Slide the thing over. There you go.
I don't know how
Here,
that...
just leave it. I'll move that. I'll move this.
All right. This is, go ahead, yeah.
Yep, this is the Malatongu family, Sos and Kara, and they're said he is a person who works with Christian schools. He's the director, the global director of the ACSI Christian schools in Africa. So he actually works with 33 African countries, and they are growing Christian schools right and left so quickly. And one of the things that really surprised us and encouraged us was the fact that people would take the money that they had, like a small amount, and they would give it to building a Christian school in a Muslim community. And they would start with 20 people. And within the space of 2 or 3 years, they had 300, 400, 800 children attending their schools, partially because the education system in Africa is so poor, and they were providing an actual education there. But in the process of doing that, they were able to share Christ and the salvation story with the children there, with their parents, but also through hiring teachers as well. And that has been just a dynamic way to grow Christianity in Guinea. That's our little country right there, but like I said, it is spread through 33 countries. They speak French there, and so everything we did had to be translated all the time. They don't really speak English at all there, so we did a lot of waiting and translating.
There's a bottom says there's a wet season and a dry season. They're all hot seasons. It's either hot in an umbrella or hot without an umbrella. It's terrible.
It's just hot. This was day one. We traveled. You can go to the next slide. This is where we stayed in a very nice little sort of a hotel for missionaries there. And then this was the first thing we did was we went to the Alleluia Church. We were considered special guests, so everywhere we went, we were treated like royalty, partially because Sos is a very high-powered person in Africa, not just in Guinea, but he is very well known throughout the country of Africa. So we enjoyed that, and my husband Bruce got to preach at this church as well, and we worshipped. Boy, we sang and sang and sang and sang, but that was also part of the process too.
I can't really hear it anyway.
Yeah, you can go past this one too. And we went to a restaurant with the family and just enjoyed some
What are you doing,
Food.
Jason?
I don't remember. Someone took a ill-timed photo there.
Who can say? And then there was a stop at the Conakry International Christian Fellowship. This was a place where other people, international people from other countries would come and worship. And Jason, I don't know if you remember the story about the fire.
They had just built this youth group, or youth room, and it was making some incredible inroads in that community. Youth would come and hear the gospel and fellowship like young kids do. And they had this beautiful building, and it started on fire. I think some of the wiring was faulty, and one time it started on fire and it was burning, and this was going to be a total loss. Well, real close to it are some of the other buildings that have stood for a lot longer, part of this missionary complex, and they were really, really worried that the whole place was going to be gone. And then what are they going to do? Well, the Lord intervened, and if you see on the bottom right, that is an above-ground swimming pool, and at just the right moment, the side of that thing just burst. No reason. It just burst. And the water shot out of there and put the flames out, so the only loss was this building, this building here. The rest was saved. And they believe it was a miracle because the whole complex should have gone up. And it was quite something.
I don't know if any of you have traveled to a third world country or another place, but one of the things that I've noticed, and I've gone to several different places like this, but the stories that you hear about God's intervention and God's special grace are unlike anything that we hear here, because it's a unique way that God works in those places, because just because He can and He does, and they don't have fire trucks that can come and do this kind of thing. So God uses other means, and we were completely blessed by story after story after story of how God came in and just did His work in His time and in His way. And just for me to bring teachers into a place like Guinea to see how God works in other places, to me that was goal number one, and that was gift number one for us as teachers, to be a part of this process. Then we visited this school as well. It was just a delight to go and see these schools and to notice how the education process happened. And these were the Christian schools, and still you notice that they were very in need of help in terms of the resources that they had, or they just, if you notice in that last picture, that wall is an entire chalkboard. Everything they were learning and used was just written on that chalkboard. They didn't have any other way to get that stuff across to kids. The kids would have little handheld chalkboards as well, but seriously, that's the only way they could get their information up to the students. And so, students would come up and write things, and I don't know, it just reminded us again of the blessings we have here, and also helped us think through how can we help them, how can we be of service to places like this. But then also just to see the lovely, lovely faces of these kids who just were so happy to see us, and we didn't speak the same language, but you could still tell what they were thinking. So this was just a great opportunity. Here's some more pictures of the classrooms, and they were wanting to learn. That was true. Whatever means they had was what they were doing.
The education system, the public education system in Conakry is so overwhelmed that they were moving to half day of school. So they would have 40, 50, 60 kids in a classroom with one teacher for the morning, and then those kids would go home. And then another group would come in for the afternoon because they had so many kids and the infrastructure just wasn't there. So these Christian schools would come, and they didn't care if they were Muslim or Christian. They just wanted a good education, and they would pay to send their kids here. And they said, well, if that's the case, then they're going to hear about Christ. Fine. And it's just amazing what the Lord is doing through that.
And then this was another school, a little bit different, a little bit maybe not quite as crowded, but yeah, we really enjoyed being there as well, just seeing what was going on in those schools. And then you can see this little child, we saw this quite a bit, but the children sleeping, the parents would keep them up so late at night, and then they would just be tired. So one of the things that we really encouraged teachers to talk about with parents is the importance of sleep and how that impacts learning. And so that was one of the things we did share with them as well. Some more pictures of them. Look at those faces. Ugh, they were just so cute. And then we went to the Teacher's Garden. The Teacher's Garden is the organization that SOS and Kara started, and it is a place where teachers can come and learn. How do we teach? We found that it's a confusing thing how they teach, how they lead teachers through teacher training, and I've learned more about it since this process as well. But there's a disconnect between what teachers are expected to know and how they proceed to teach them, and teachers don't really learn how to teach. So we came to this Teacher's Garden. We had a bunch of people, a bunch of teachers that came, and we helped them to go through some professional development here. Here we are, and those were a couple of the ladies who work at the Teacher Garden as well. Lovely, lovely, lovely people.
They only speak French.
Yeah.
So you couldn't, you always had to translate through everything. So, curse the Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
But,
Absolutely.
someday I'm going to talk to them.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And that's our group on the left.
So this was day 5, and Diane Kromendijk, she was a teacher at OCCS for a long time and now is working in administration, but she did a training on developing number sense in early education. The teachers loved it. She just went strategy by strategy by strategy. She just taught them. She gave them lots of things, manipulatives that they could take back to their classrooms, and she taught them how to use it. And the beautiful thing was we went the next day to a school where teachers were there, and they were using the stuff. They didn't have anything. They really were hungry for, how do we teach? How do we do this? And so they had her stuff. They were using her methods. It was just really neat. But they were a lovely group of people to work with, and we just had a lot of laughs with them. And they were trying to be, second graders, playing the games that Diane was teaching them.
And I can count to 10 in French now because of the games that they did. So.
Yeah, that was one of them. Then Jason led devotions, and he led devotions several times through there. And if you can believe this, at the end of the devotions, they could stand up and ask questions, and they would address him as the man of God. So I don't recommend that you continue to address him that way, because
they all know better.
Yeah, no, he did a great job with that, and the people really appreciated the things that he shared with them. And this was our singing time with the teachers. We can pass that up too, probably.
Probably can't hear it.
No. And then here we are watching them play their little games that Diane was teaching them. They just had a blast, and they got into it totally. It was very fun. Then on that afternoon, Jason did a dialogue with the school directors, and it was just the leaders of the school, and he talked with them, and they had tons of questions. How do you be a principal of these places? How do you hire people? How do you, all kinds of things, and that was very well received as well. And then after that, they had a prayer time for us, and all of these leaders stood up and did this, I don't know what you call it, a corporate prayer. And so we all stood in front of all those leaders there, and while they prayed all at the same time over us. I don't know if you've ever experienced that before, but it was unbelievable. Just this wall of prayer from these people in French. We didn't hear them, understand them, but it just about knocked us off our feet, just having them pray over us. What a fabulous experience. But they really were appreciative of the advice that Jason was able to give them on leading a school. And then we had a meal. That doesn't necessarily look great. That's a fish head right there. But looks and taste don't always go hand in hand when you're in another country. So,
They fed us well.
yeah, they fed us super well. And then the next day I did a training on special education. That was one of the big questions that they asked before we came. How do you work with students who are struggling? And so we were able to talk about, students with dyslexia, students with ADHD, what are some strategies? So we did that, showed them some strategies. And again, the next day when we were out, we saw them using some of those strategies too. So that was encouraging as well. We had a Thanksgiving worship because we were there on Thanksgiving Day, and that was really a treat for us because we were not with our families, but we felt like we were with our spiritual families, worshiping and celebrating Thanksgiving with them. We went to a restaurant on the Atlantic, which was absolutely phenomenal. Again, these were some of the people that worked at Teacher Garden and who we really got to love. And
The woman on the far left there, she has been really through missionary her whole life, doing different things, living. She speaks like 4 languages fluently, which, I mean, I can hardly do one, but 4, and she just switches, boom, 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 back and forth, whoever she's talking to. German, French, English, just it's amazing how she just goes back and forth.
yeah.
That's a big hotel there.
And then we went to Debreka, which took us way too long to drive out over bumpy roads to get there, but it was great to see
I got
that.
a picture of the road coming up.
Yep. Then we went to this Gift of God school, and they were feeding us everywhere we went. So they presented
The story behind this school, Nicki alluded to earlier. This gentleman here, right here, the start of it, and he had a farm, and a small farm near town or in the middle of town, and it failed. It wasn't doing well, and he just felt led to sell his farm and give it to this other educator to start a Christian school. And it was about maybe $1,500, wasn't much, and he started it, and it just exploded. And within 3 years, they had 800 students. They're expecting in 3 more years to double that at least, and they just keep building on top of it. And it's just amazing. It's just, we hear stories of our ancestors doing the same thing, but they're living that right now. It's just they're giving it to the schools and just boom, the Lord is blessing it. It's amazing. Oh. Kids are kids.
Kids. So much fun.
So fun.
This is just pictures of that school.
It's a group of our school. They love taking pictures with us and having prayer both ways. Us praying for them, them praying for us.
This was a pediatric center that was built, and this man person that started that beautiful campus, and they serve people in Conakry, and they're a Christian place as well, and they take care of children there.
Getting a tour of the facilities, doctors. You can see the road on the right. That's the road, and like the whole road. And it doesn't matter if you're on County Road K30s, whatever the blacktops are around here, or if you're on I-29. They all look like that. It's just amazing the poor structure. It's a third world country, and getting around is you got to have some. Your teeth rattle out of your mouth sometimes.
There's the waterfall that we saw.
Yeah,
pretty.
stop there. Beautiful. You can kind of see alongside the roads. Dave, you'll appreciate this picture on the right is a soccer field.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then this one, I think this was my favorite stop. This was the last day we were there, the Kuiper Christian School. This whole area was filled with middle school and high school kids, and they were just all hanging out over the walls and the railways, and we had a chance to share with them. And after we had our talk with them, we went up and invited them to come see there, so you can see them there. They're everywhere. And they were so excited again that we were there, and they all came around and shook our hands and everything. And then we had some time afterwards to pray with them. We scrunched all into this room, and we just prayed over them. But Jason noticed a girl that was just struggling. She was just having trouble. And, you could tell there was something going on with her. So anyway, we didn't quite know what to do. But after that, we left, and as the team left the courtyard and got into the van, stayed back and stayed with this girl, and she collapsed on the ground, and he was able to talk with her, and apparently there was some sort of something going on with her, whether it was a spirit or something like that, and he was able to pray with her over that until that episode was over, or whether that was a spirit that left her. And she came out of that, and it was completely better from that situation. They tell us that girls of this age have that kind of a thing happen to them often in the Muslim community. And so anyway, Sos was able to help her through that episode. And then we got in the van and we left, and they called Sos again, and they said, "Can you come back? Because we have a whole group of students who would like you to pray for them again." I guess they had seen what Sos had done, and they wanted us to come back. Unfortunately, that was the day that we had to get on the plane, so we couldn't come back. But just the power of prayer in that situation just meant so much to those kids, and it meant so much to us. And you could just the tangible sense, the feel of the Holy Spirit as we spoke with those kids was so great. And then we, of course, did the shopping, and then we got home. And I would say for me, our first goal, like I said, was, for me, my first goal in planning all of this and bringing teachers there was not to just say, oh, we've got all these good things and we want to bring them and we want to serve you. It was, I think our people need to go over and see what God's doing in other places. I think it's important for teachers to see how God is at work in other places and hear the stories of God's power in places like Africa. And that's the best reason to plan trips like this. But we know that we provided service to these teachers as well by leading professional developments. We brought how many suitcases full of stuff for them, things like computers and paper products and markers and you name it. We had suitcases full of stuff that we brought to them. Thanks for the donors that we knew. So we know that we did that, and we know that we blessed SOS and Kara by just encouraging them in their ministry. But what we came back with ourselves in getting to know the other teachers and our brothers and sisters in the Lord, and watching what they are doing, and really seeing who God is in this other place was really the best part of this. So thank you for letting us share this. I hope we didn't talk too much.
Questions? No? Fast through some things. Moving forward. Yeah. What's transpired?
We have another trip planned for June. It's actually the end of May, the beginning of June, and Jason will be our team leader this year. But we hope to bring, they can take 10 people at a time, and so we have people that are interested now, and again, it has to be people that are able to provide professional development in that process, and or some other way to do that. So at this point, we are collecting interested parties, and we're going to go through those. I don't know if you know this, but I'm planning the convention that's coming up October 1 and 2. So that's got to happen first, and then we'll work on this trip coming next. And we hope to do this every year. Yeah, just to keep that connection going. Mm-hmm.
I noticed that it looked like all the students were black, and the only white people. Now, how does that? Are there other white people there? How do they handle that? Does that give a different kind of a feeling that the whites are above, or what?
I guess I don't know. We come in and we are who we are, and we do what we do. But no, this is Guinea, Africa, and maybe many of them have never seen a white person. I've been in places like that before. I lived in China for 4.5 years, and people never had seen a white person there either. And we taught English and did all of that kind of stuff. I can remember people touching my hair when I went shopping, and and standing and watching you walk across the street, and So I don't know. I think that is true. I think that's like, yeah, here these white people are, but they sure seem joyful and happy and wanting to talk to us and wanting to, touch and shake our hands. So I guess that's a good thing. But I think there is something to that. Here we are. We don't look, our skin color isn't at all like theirs. But
Does France do anything in that country anymore?
I don't think a lot. They have ties to it.
Used
but
to be
I don't-
French Guinea. Yeah.
They used to be a colony of theirs, I'm assuming. Back.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. If you're interested in meeting a little bit after this with Dale and Jan, stick around for a few minutes and we'll get that organized, and otherwise we'll see you next Monday. Have a great week.
Very good. That was very good. I can't get it. No, I can't.